How's it going, everybody? My name is Hyper, and today I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on how to set up the new Nexus Dashboard for Darkflame Universe. This tool was created by Aaron. He's a great guy in the LEGO Universe community, and this software has a great deal of functionality outside of just account creation that the original account manager has, so it allows for a much higher degree of server management. Plus, this software is officially supported by the DLU team, so it's going to work well with the server. I'll be walking you through how to install Nexus Dashboard in this video, and I'll do my best to make it generalized instead of specific to my own guides, in case you followed someone else's video or you followed a written guide. That way it'll be easy for everyone to follow, and it should go off without a hitch. If you somehow found your way here and you haven't set up a server yet, you can check out the link in my description for a video that I made on how to set up a server on a VM. Otherwise, I'll be assuming that you already have your server up and running and you just want to have a better dashboard for server management. Thankfully, this is a pretty fast and easy setup process, but if you have a slow upload speed, this will take a while just for the file transfers that we have to do. With my upload speeds, which I would say are just under 5 megabytes per second, it took almost 2 hours to transfer the files. But of course, if you have a faster upload speed, this would probably go by way faster. So the first thing to do is to open up whatever program you're using to connect to your server, either with an SSH client like PuTTY or in a virtual machine. So the first thing we're going to do is install a couple of packages that we need for this particular software. If you've already set up the server, it's likely that you already have most of the packages installed, but I'm going to give the list of all the packages that you need installed just in case. First thing you want to do is update your app repository. So you're going to do sudo, so sudo, and apt, and update. And this will just take a minute. It's just going to check and make sure everything's up to date. And then you're going to do sudo apt install and then -y, and the first package is python 3, and the next one is python 3-pip, and then next is sqlite3, and then git, and then unzip, and then this one's a little funky, but it's lib magic with a ck, and then wand -dev, and those will install. Alright, once those packages are installed, we can start getting the dashboard set up. This process will be very familiar if you've already set up the server before, so it should go off pretty easily. And the commands I'll be using will apply to anyone's Linux installation, not just the one from my own tutorial. There are a few exceptions, and I will make it clear when those apply, but if you just type it exactly as I am typing it, you can just use the same commands I am, and everything will go good. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we are in our home directory. So all you have to do is type cd and then hit enter, and that will put you in the home directory. You can see that this is where we also have the Darkflame Server and account manager installed. Now we're going to download the Nexus Dashboard by typing git clone, and then we're going to put the link for the GitHub of the dashboard. So it's going to be https://github.com/darkflameuniverse, and make sure that you are paying attention to the capitalized, so the D and the U should be capitalized, and then /nexusdashboard.git, and then again the N and the D should be capitalized. Hit enter and it will download that. It's a pretty quick download, and now we can see that there's a folder called Nexus Dashboard here. In order to make sure that this applies to everyone's tutorial, I'm going to stay right in the home directory and run all the commands from here. So first we're going to create a settings file with the example that was downloaded. So we're going to type cp, that means that we'll be copying this. Then we're going to type this tilde key. It's just below your escape key usually, next to the 1. Just type that and then do a / and then Nexus Dashboard. Again, pay attention to the capitalization. Then /app/settings _example.py, and then do a space, and then we'll do the tilde again, and then / Nexus Dashboard /app/settings.py, and that's just renaming the example to the actual name that the software will be using. So if no error is given, that means that it copied correctly, and now we can go in to edit it. So we're going to do sudo nano, so nano, and then the tilde again, and / Nexus Dashboard /app/settings.py. Enter, and it'll open up this interface, If you're familiar with it, you might be using a different one, but with this one you can only navigate using the 4 arrow keys. And there are going to be 2 things that we want to edit here, and they are right here, the app secret key and the app database URI. There's a lot of features in here that can be tuned to the needs of your situation, but this video is only going to cover what is needed to get the software running. So in order to get a secret key, we are going to use this link that you can find in the description that will generate a random string for you to use. So once this link comes up, you want to scroll down and look for string values, and you want to pull this drop down menu up and do all letters, A to Z, and numbers, so we can get the most variation there and most security. And then you just want to copy that, close that window, and then navigate to where this second quote is highlighted, and then to paste it in, it is not Control V, it is a right click. So hit right click, and then make sure that this secret key is inside these double quotes. Next, we want to set the database URI, and this is where the information will differ for your installation. You could have even done it differently than my own tutorial, and you named these things something different. In my case, I'm going to put what I had in my tutorial, but I'll explain which each one is. And most importantly, you can find all of this information in those 4 INI files, like authconfig, worldconfig, those files. You can find this information that you need in there in case you forgot. So you're going to want to go to this line and look for this username section here, and just highlight this colon, and you can start backspacing and delete that. And what you want to put here is the name that you put in the config file for the username for the database. So in my case, it was DLU server, and then you put the password that you use for that. This could be anything. In my case, it was Lego Universe, just for example purposes. And then the next 2 are host and port. This will not apply to most people. It's only if the database for Lego Universe is on a different machine for some reason. If it's not, then you can highlight this slash here and delete this port and the colon, and then you want to replace host with local host. And then the last one is the database. This is whatever the name of the database is, and you can also find this in those INI files. So in my case, the database is DLU. And once that is all filled out and it looks correct, you hit Control and X on your keyboard, and then you type Y, and then hit Enter. So this is where the long part comes in. We need to transfer several files and folders from the local client of your Lego Universe game to the server. We've done this before with the actual Darkflame server, but this time we need some different files, so we need to copy it over again. You will use whatever method you used originally to transfer the files from the client to the server. Most people probably used FileZilla. That is what I used in my tutorial, so that's what I'm going to be showing here. The reason this one takes so long is that one of the folders that we need to transfer equates to almost 10 gigabytes, so it's going to take a bit. So I've got FileZilla pulled up here, and what we want to do, if you set it up like I did in my tutorial, I already saved the connection, but if you didn't, you can just type in information here using the information that you have for your SSH client. So I'm just going to load up my configuration for this server, and once it's connected, I will be able to see the file system, and we can see our Nexus Dashboard folder here. And before we can continue transferring, we need to make a few just one folder in the server. So we're going to go back to our client for SSH, and we're going to type mkdir, and then the tilde again, / Nexus Dashboard /app /lu client /res. Hit enter, and then that folder, when you click on this, you can go to Nexus Dashboard and then app, and then LU client, and then we can see our res folder in there. So what we want to transfer over from our Lego Universe folder, you can see that I already have it pulled up here. So we want to transfer this locale folder to the LU client folder. So when you transfer it in, you will see it alongside the RAS folder. And then once that one is transferring, you can go into the res folder here on the server side and go into the res folder on your local client, and we're going to transfer over this brick models folder, this brick primitives folder, textures, that's the one that's 10 gigabytes unfortunately, and then UI, and this last one right here, brickdb.zip. Again, in my case, it took almost 2 hours, but that's just because I have a pretty slow upload speed. This can vary greatly between internet connections, so you're just gonna have to hope that it's faster, but just be patient with it. Alright, so all those files are finally transferred over, and we can continue. I also made the text a little bigger because I realized it's probably pretty small, but we're almost done with the terminal, so don't worry too much. First thing we're going to do is unzip that zip file that we transferred over from our client. So we're going to type unzip, and then that tilde again, / Nexus Dashboard, / app / lu client / res / brick db.zip. And that's a pretty quick process. And then we're going to do the same thing. Actually, I'm going to show you a little shortcut. If you hit up on the arrow key, it will pull up the most previous command. And then you can arrow over or hit the home key. And then just hit the delete key to delete this unzip, and then type rm. And then that's just going to delete the file, so it's not in our way. Next, we're going to copy over the SQLite file that we created for the Darkflame server. This is going to be wherever your Darkflame server is at. It could be different than this in the home directory, but I'm going to assume that it is in the home directory. So we're going to type cp tilde / darkflame, helps us spell it right, darkflame server / build / res / cd server.sqlite, and then the cds, those are all capital, and then we're going to do a space, and then tilde / Nexus Dashboard / app / lu client / res / cd client.sqlite, and then all these letters are lowercase. Hit enter, and then that file is in there now. And again, make sure that this is spelled correctly, or else the program will not find it. Now we're going to finish this up. We're going to finally change directories and go into our Nexus dashboard. So we're going to do cd tilde / Nexus Dashboard. And then now we are in that folder. And what we're going to do is type pip install -r requirements.txt. This is a really important step. It installs the dependencies that this software needs to run properly, so make sure that you get that step done. Next, we're going to type pip install gunicorn. It sounds for green unicorn, but just type that in, hit enter, and that will install. And once that's installed, you want to type in flask db upgrade. And once we even run that command, we want to do sudo apt install gunicorn, and then just hit Y. Now that we have all the dependencies installed, there's one more step that we need to do before that we can start the dashboard. We need to forward port 8000 on our server in order to be able to connect to it via the web. So to do that, you'll need to go into, if you are on a VPS server, you will need to go into the dashboard manager and update that port there. I will show you mine in Oracle. You could be using Google Cloud or something else. But for Oracle, you would go to your instance page, and then you'll look for this virtual cloud network. You click that link there, and then it will take you to the subnets page. You click that link, and then the default security list. And then here are your ingress rules. You might recognize them from when you were setting it up initially. And while you're here, make sure that port 2000 is not forwarded, because that one is not safe to have open. That was recently announced by the DLU team. So make sure that that port is not open. If it is, just select it and remove it. So once you're in here, you're going to want to add another ingress rule, and the source CIDR will just be 0.0.0.0 and the /0, and then we are going to be forwarding the TCP port 8000, and then the destination port range will be 8000. Then just click add ingress rules, and you can see it in your list here. And then once we're done with that, we just head back to our terminal, and I will just paste this in, but I'll read it out to you. So it's sudo IP tables and then space dash capital I space input all capitals, and then space 1 space dash P space TCP, and space dash M space multi-port, and then space 2 dashes D ports, and then space 8000 space dash J space all capital except. Sorry, that's really hard to read. Then you hit enter, and if nothing shows up, then that port is now open. And now that you've forwarded that port in the terminal, you want to make sure that that rule is saved. So you're going to type sudo su, hit enter, and now you're logged in as root, and you're going to type IP tables save, and then you do a right facing arrow, which is on the period key on your keyboard, and then you're going to do space and then /etc/IP tables /rules.v4, then hit enter, and then if nothing shows up, that's a good thing. And then you're going to type exit so we can get back to our normal user. So this functions similarly to the other server software that this has, like the actual server and then the account manager. It overtakes your terminal, so you can't type any new commands. So a lot of guides, they have some sort of terminal session creator. There's various different ones. In my case, I use TMUX. You would be familiar with what one you used to create the terminal sessions, but I'm just going to show you how to do it with the TMUX. So you just type TMUX new -s, and then just name it whatever you want. I'm going to call it Nexus. So now we're in a new server window, and make sure that you're in the Nexus Dashboard directory, and you're going to type gunicorn space, oh, I spelled that wrong, gunicorn space -b space :8000 space -w space 4, and then space wsgi :app. Then hit enter, and if everything's configured correctly there, it will start up and it looks all good. So now we can open up the website. Then once this goes up and there's no errors, you can open up your browser and type in your IP address. I'm going to put in a different one because I didn't want to wait for the files to transfer again, so I'm using the one that I was testing with originally. So just type in your IP address, and then at the end do a colon and then type 8000. This is similar to how you connect to the account manager if you set that up initially. So once you do that, you just hit enter, and then it'll bring you to this page if it's set up and the ports are forwarded correctly. From here you click login, and this you will log in with your admin account that you used with the /masterserver-a, that account that you set up. That's probably the account you're using to play on your own, for your own account. So just type that in and log in. So I'll just give a quick run through of the features of this dashboard. Obviously, at first glance, it's clear that it is much more functional than the account manager. The account manager is exactly what it was for. It only created accounts, but here you can manage a ton more things that you would otherwise have to do manually through the database, which makes this a lot easier to manage larger servers. So you can see your info from what you are logged in as, and then you can see right here any characters associated with that account. So this is my character that I have logged in right now, just to show you guys what it's like. You can require them to rename their character, or you can approve a new name that you would have had to done through the database as well. So this makes it way easier just to go here and click a button. You can also rescue them if they're stuck somewhere and they don't have the privileges to warp somewhere else, or the smash command doesn't work. You can also restrict their trade, their mail, and their chat if they're acting up. You can also approve pet names and properties. So you can come here and see different properties that people have. These are a couple of people that have played on my server, and you can see their properties. Another cool thing is, and the reason why all those textures were transferred over, is because you can view the properties in a 3D 360-degree viewer. So you can just click on someone's property. Neither of these have anything built on the property, which is why they aren't showing up, but you can just kind of look at this and see an idea of what it would look like. And I think that's an awesome feature. I love this. You can also manage accounts and ban them, mute them, and delete them even. And this will affect all of those accounts' characters instead of just on a one-by-one basis. It also includes email support and sending out messages to different accounts. And you can also create play keys for people to create accounts just like you can with the account manager. And lastly, you can look at the logs and analytics of the server and like the economy and stuff like that. Just stuff to see how your server is performing and how the players are playing. If you want to use the play keys feature, you will have to enable that in the settings file. So if you want to pull up your terminal again, you can type cd and then hit enter so you're back in your home directory. And you type sudo nano and then / Nexus Dashboard /app /settings.py. Once you're in here, you can scroll down and look for this section that says Flask user settings and then user enable register, and you can look in here and delete this false and change it to true with a capital T. And then you can click Control X and Y and then hit enter, and then that's saved. And then once you've enabled the register option, when you go to the login page, you will now see a new button for register. And here they can type in their username, the play key that you would generate, and then give to them. And then they can create their password. And then once that's all set, they can join your server with their login. So that's all the basics that you need to know about this. If you have any more questions or if something's not going right for you, make sure to join my Discord and I will help you as best as I can there. And if not, I will point you to someone who can. I hope that this guide was helpful, and if you have any more questions, just let me know. Thank you.